Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program may contain adult content and is intended for mature audiences only.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The arguments begin now.
So what'd you think of my Son of a Preacher Man?
I like that song.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I let it finish. Good evening, Mr. Dale. It's been a while.
Couple weeks at least.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple minutes.
Yep. I want to start off with just something here quick. This will get us started. You ready?
Go for it.
Leave it there. And let me ask you this. Do you think Jimmy is roaming around the White House tonight trying to find a meatloaf to warm himself up on?
I don't think the Carters eat meatloaf.
Who the hell are they? They're only from Georgia. Oh, let me tell you something. I am so sick of Washington and all its works and all them politicians down there and them congressmen. And the congressmen, boy. I'll bet you won't find none of them congressmen turning down their electric blankets tonight. Because if they did, their secretaries would get up and go home. Oh, read this. The Democrats is doing the whole... The Democrats. And you put them in there. That's the face you had on you when you come back in the polls. Well, the Democrats' way of running this country is to go tell us all how we ought to make sacrifices. God, they're great on that stuff. But they're all going to have us over the hill to the poorhouse. We ain't going to be able to drive over there because we ain't got no gas, so we're going to have to walk it.
Oh, the Reader's Digest says walking is very good for you.
Oh, ain't that lovely? The Reader's Digest can always put a little joy into poverty. Listen, my whole point is this whole thing with the energy and everything. This is all a conspiracy. No, you know that? It's a conspiracy there. Listen, for years, all our lives, they've been telling us to go out and buy stuff that use energy. You know, all electrical stuff. They got electric toasters, electric ovens, electric stove, electric stereo, electric TV, electric race, electric hair blower, electric knives, electric every damn thing. Not to mention the cars. And now, after all the big corporations there make the billions and billions of dollars worth of profits, signals, wham, they're changed. And after telling us for years that we can't live without this junk, now they tell us that we gotta live without it. The country is going straight into the dumper.
Well, what'd you think?
I'm speechless. Well, no, I'm not speechless, but if that man did not just damn near describe the state of affairs today, what, 40 years ago?
That was in.
Then, I mean, I'm crazy.
That was the bunkers.
Everybody makes fun of some of these shows and what they say, and you see how they come to
fruition.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I could not spit it quite out. But, yeah, I mean, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. They tell us we have to have this and that, and then all of a sudden they tell us that we shouldn't have it. Well, it's a little bit different because, he said they told us we had to have electric cars and now they tell us we don't, and we're kind of a little bit opposite of that right now. But it's the same feeling.
But they still have the
Archie
electric
Bunker.
cars out there available. And you should buy an electric car. It's going to help the economy. And then they don't. Then you have places like California that you can't afford to live out there anyway. And then they say, we're using so much power. These electric cars are going to run us bankrupt, and so we got to put a tax on the cars. We got to charge them $40 a mile. What a bunch of crap. This stuff has been crap since the 1970s when Archie Bunker there was filmed. When All in the Family was filmed, I stumbled across that thing Sunday as I was doing research for the other show. And when I saw that, something clicked in the back of my head that said, you need to use this with Dale. And isn't it amazing how 40 or 50 years ago is just like it is now? With lying politicians and everything.
Go back to Blazing Saddles and the guy talking about, keeping your phony baloney jobs and, that stuff. I know they played it on WNIR all the time, but think about it and how true it is. These guys, it's like they knew this horse crap was going to happen. At some point, they knew it was going to happen. And they were cracking even some of the sci-fi films and different things. It's you think that, you're watching, all this fantasy movies and shit. And then the next thing, you turn around and it's happening in your backyard.
Exactly.
Some of these people, directors, whatever, kind of knew what the hell was going on before we did.
And they still do. How many times have you heard of a television show or a cartoon like The Simpsons or South Park actually predicting what the future was? The Simpsons has been great at that.
I was going to say The Simpsons are well known for calling out stuff.
And, if they can do that now, back, if they could do this back in the 70s when All in the Family was playing, I keep telling people it's not much different than it was back then.
But you know what? Exactly.
And nobody says, it's a whole lot different now. Bullshit.
That was a very controversial show. And if you took his narrative and put it into today's narrative, and you said that, you would also be a controversial person because, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Oh, Lord, what have you done? I mean, I mind you, there was a lot of other topics that he went into that, borderline racist and this and that, but I think it was done in a little bit cleaner of a manner for the most part. I wasn't an avid watcher, so I don't know for sure through all that, but
well, I pretty much watched.
They let it on TV, so it couldn't have been too bad.
I pretty much watched All in the Family since the beginning of it. I loved Norman Lear. He had his shows had the most topical and cool topics that anything I ever watched. Of course, he produced The Jeffersons. He did so
he was all out there.
The first one was the first one he did was All in the Family. Then he spun off The Jeffersons. There was other really topical shows. I can't think of them right off the top of my head.
Well, look at how much, controversy you had over The Jeffersons.
Yeah.
You got, oh my Lord, a rich black couple. Oh my Lord!
Not
you have
a
a black
rich,
couple that made money,
not
and
a
then
rich
the very
black
first
couple,
interracial couple
a
on
rich
television.
interracial couple there too,
Yes,
and that was unheard
and
of back then. If
absolutely.
you were to go walking down the street holding hands with your black wife, you'd get lynched. It was, it was a whole different time back then, and now it's pretty much acceptable. And if
Well, it should be.
there was
I mean,
another art, there was another one that Archie, and I may try to find this for the next time we get together. Archie does he's introduced to a gay couple, and that one there is really off the wall, and politically, I think it was the most politically incorrect thing I ever heard from Archie Bunker. But I used to really like that show. As you can tell from the stuff I've brought in here the last two or three times, and what I'm using on my show, there's there are things there that I think bring controversy to what you're going to talk about, but it also makes you think, and that's what that thing we just played with Archie does. It made you think, and when you started hearing about how the Democrats caused it all, they've been blaming the Democrats for shit like this ever since time began.
oh, maybe he was on to something.
Well, and maybe not. You've got different forces in different places.
I'm not saying
But then again,
if
you looked in the beginning of
standing
that,
on Heaven's Gate,
if you looked at the beginning of that article, he was talking about Republicans. The Republicans want you to do this, and then they cut you off. That was a really topical thing there, and I'm glad we got some use out of it. I do want to thank CBS and that provides those clips on YouTube. Sometimes they come on very, very good to talk about. And according to the articles of, what the heck was it? I got it here, hang on. According to the copyright laws, you're allowed to play something like that as long as you discuss it, which is what we did. So that's cool too. Anyway, what do you got we can argue about?
I don't know if we're going to argue or not, but
We got to argue.
well, we'll probably find a way here. We got this school shooter in Appalachia. We got Kamala Harris hunkered down in a basement with a stand-in for Donald Trump, practicing her debate speech or debate
And
comments or whatever. Because
don't you think
she don't know what the hell she can't deal with the man, so she's trying to practice, and she's like buried down because.
Wait a minute.
Oh my God! What's he gonna say to me? What's he gonna say? He might hurt my feelings.
Trump did the same thing with the last debate. He
really hunkered down in a basement in Pennsylvania.
Don't think that he didn't get in a debate type of scenario and do the same thing she's doing.
Well, yeah, there's practice and there's hunkering down somewhere for 5 days, not speaking to anyone, any media, doing any type of campaign stuff whatsoever, because you're terrified.
That's a sign of a good prosecutor.
Come Tuesday, you're going to look like the idiot you are. Sorry. Donnie would come home and be like, okay, let's practice some of them questions again. Okay.
We'll see.
And then, well,
We'll
hold on a
see
minute.
who makes
You
a
guys better
complete
chill
ass
out
of
'cause
himself.
I got to go talk to these people real quick. You know, I mean, he wasn't scared. The woman is scared,
Not
and
scared.
rightfully so.
She's just studying.
She's freaking scared,
No, she's not.
and rightfully so.
Well, he should be too, the flippin' liar.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, oh God,
Here we go.
Listen to some of the stuff he's just said in the last week or so. Tell me, and he's in a fucking.
You got a candidate
He is in a virtual reality world with himself.
You have a candidate that's stealing Donald Trump's own ideas. She spent like, I don't know, 3.5 years now.
Here we go again.
Talking, as the borders are, she's like, I'm going to put a wall up. I'm going to close down the borders. Really? Who'd you get that from?
Well, he built 54.
He's going to do this.
He built 54 miles of wall.
I'm going to make sure
out of 1,500.
all waitresses and waiters do not have to pay taxes on their tips. Oh, that's funny. Where'd she get that from? I mean, she's stealing the other guy's platform for her own use.
She's allowed to use
try
it.
to make herself look good.
She's allowed to use it.
And you really think those are her beliefs? If they were, she would have come up with them on her own.
Well, he said.
And then you guys think she's actually gonna,
she's gonna mop the floor with him.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come off it.
You want to make a bet on air?
I don't bet.
I'll bet you a cookie.
Yeah, I might bet.
Well, let's bring some Howie.
I'll bet you a steak dinner.
Let's bring some Howie back.
I'll bet you a steak dinner. If you win, and this has to be this can't just be one side against the other's opinion. There has to be a definite marker there that one side won or the other one didn't.
What do you mean? If somebody won, they won. Are you not going to trust the voters of America? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that.
Is that what you're saying?
No, you're putting words in my mouth now.
Well, I'm asking you.
I'm not that hungry. You don't have to do that.
So
I ate dinner already.
What is the factor that if Donnie wins, that you don't have to pay up your steak dinner?
If Don wins,
qualifications?
If he wins, undecidedly wins.
What is undecidedly? If you win by one vote, you won undecidedly.
Well, it's not. There's not a vote there. How can there be a vote there? It's a flipping debate. But if
you're talking about the debate. I thought you were talking about the election.
No.
That's why I was.
We're talking about the debate. If he wins the debate undecidedly, then I'll buy you a steak dinner.
No. See, I won't take that bet because you got the news media in your back pocket talking about how, I mean, the woman could stutter through the whole thing. She's gonna
mop the fucking floor with him.
Come on. I mean,
he's
mop the floor.
When it's over with, he's gonna feel like he's been put through the ringer.
Oh my Lord!
What's that?
And you're the same guy that thought the Browns were going to win on Sunday.
And
we saw how'd that work out for you.
And you're a Steelers fan.
How'd that work out? Yeah, that's right. We're in first place, by the way, because everybody else lost.
In your own mind.
Oh, not my own mind, on paper.
Yeah, whatever.
Because everybody else lost. All three teams in the division lost except for Pittsburgh.
Well, there's going to be other times where Pittsburgh's going to be in the same boat they're always in.
Oh, man, I liked what I saw.
Well,
I didn't see perfection. Don't get me wrong. I did not see perfection. But I saw Steeler football being performed.
Do you know?
So I'm
do you know that since
so far happy with that?
Since the first preseason, since before the first preseason game, I've been predicting that the Browns are going to suck. I've seen,
that
and
like 20 years ago.
it's not anything to do with the players.
I'm like Nostradamus.
It's not anything to do with the players this year. That fucking coaching staff stinks. You can see it on the field. You can see it in the plays. You can see it all over that team. They stink. And when I watched that first part of that game last night, and they got to 20-3, Jesus H. Christ.
Look at you getting red-faced. I love it.
I'm not getting red-faced.
Hey, sounds good on TV.
No, don't. I don't need it. Hang on a second. Oh, that was gross. Anyway, as speaking of sports like that, I was not impressed with anything that they did. And Stefanski's coming up with the same old excuse after excuse. That damn Deshaun Watson needs to go. He's done.
He needed to go before he ever came.
He needs to go.
I was laughing my ass off.
He needs to go now.
I had not realized until because I watched the Steelers game and I watched part of the Cleveland game. You know, I was kind of in and out. And at times, you know, they were talking. In 3 years, that man has played in 13 football games.
That's exactly right.
And the amount of money that was thrown that guy's way to not even have to play if he didn't want to is
that's just it. You don't want to play.
Idiotic on management. You know, I'm not even gonna blame the coach. I'm gonna blame that on management.
You have to blame
because they're the ones that come up with the money, I would assume. I mean, it's just plain stupid.
That loss last night was beyond a doubt.
And then you watch Baker Mayfield throwing 4 touchdowns.
Hell,
how'd that make you feel?
He's Baker Mayfield. Jesus Christ, he was the worst damn quarterback we ever had.
Well, apparently when he started playing for a football team that doesn't suck, he started doing pretty darn good.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. You just threw 4 touchdowns. What Deshaun Watson?
Well, just wait. He always looks good for a game or two, and then he'll start sucking again.
Well, we'll see. But
yeah,
I mean,
we'll see.
Didn't he take them to the playoffs last year?
Yeah, and so did.
Okay.
So
well, I mean, all of a sudden, if you compare him to Deshaun Watson, he don't look so bad anymore, does he?
He still sucks.
He looks pretty damn good.
He still sucks.
Every time you guys get anybody in there,
he still sucks.
Instead of blaming the people that need to be blamed, let's get a new quarterback or let's get a new head coach. You need to change the whole entire environment around the Cleveland Browns.
Up until the start of this season, I thought they were doing that.
There's been a lot of last year.
There's been a lot of
looking good.
There's been a lot of organizational changes over there. There's not it's not we're just here to stand around and BS. We're here to play. You know, they actually go into a lot of the games ready to play, but you still have those chinks in the armor like Deshaun Watson. And you've got your people now that don't want to be here, like Amari Cooper. I think that he got...
Well, who would want to be there?
Well, who wouldn't want to be there? They got a chance of doing something. I mean, who'd want to flip and go to Pittsburgh with that idiot quarterback that they got? Good God.
I can go work for my boss. I can go work for my chef. But if all my chef wants to do is serve hamburgers and hot dogs, how do I cascade and show my talent if all I'm doing is cooking hamburgers and hot dogs?
Now we're talking.
It's the same thing. These guys, if you're not going to you need people to align with your players and work
Well,
with
the culture's
what you
coming.
have.
The culture
And
was coming up until the start of this season. They changed
okay,
around.
well, what fucked it
They
up then?
they changed around a lot of the offense,
Well, okay,
and then
now, all
you
right,
had offensive coaches that left. You had trainers
then
that left, and
let's
everything
let's go
else.
after them,
And
not after the head coach.
the head coach is part of it. If it was me, I'd go from the top down. I'd strip the whole damn
How many
environment out
times
and
do they
start
need to
over
do that?
until they find somebody that can actually run the place. You get with the Haslams and that I don't know what the hell's up with them. I really don't. I never. It keeps getting worse instead of better. The next thing you know, they're going to be saying, "Well,
Exactly
if you
my
guys don't want to go to the games here, we'll just take a move. We'll take our marbles and go to Tennessee where we belong.
I mean, come on, you're going from Cleveland to
We're going to become the
I
Tennessee.
forget where, but
We're going
it's
to
a
become the
stone's throw. It's
Tennessee
right there by the
Browns.
airport.
We're
Right
going
there
to.
by the airport. So I mean,
I don't think
it's
that
not really
move
different.
would be that bad of an idea.
Well, well, you think that's going to change the coaches?
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, and once again, now I think the Browns suck. And I have for quite a few years. Like I said, I don't think they've been worth a damn since Brian Sight. But, they had some glimmers of hope here and there. I mean, come on, we all have those. But moving them down the street is not going to change. But once again, you want a new stadium. And then, oh, wait a minute. Let's not make the Browns fans pay for the stadium. Let's take every smoker and every beer drinker in the fucking state and tell them they have to pay for the stadium. I don't want to put a fucking nickel. It almost makes me want to quit drinking and smoking because I don't want to put a fucking nickel into that damn stadium. Makes me want, if I want to drink a beer, to drive out of fucking state to buy a damn beer and bring it back home. Go buy them like 12 cases at a time so that I have beer on stash and tell these people to kiss my fucking ass because they want me to pay for that horse shit. For what? I've been to one football game in my whole entire life, but yet I got to pay for your fucking stadium. Then once I get in there, I can't even smoke a fucking cigarette. I can drink a beer, but I can't even smoke a cigarette. But yeah, my cigarettes have to pay for your fucking stadium. Now, you want to talk about the art of argument?
I'm looking at something.
Give me something. Oh, I should have to? Bullshit.
I never said you had to.
I know. I'm asking you. That's probably what you're thinking. That's what you're about.
No. I think it's kind of comical that's what
they... As a non-smoking, non-drinking fucking dumbass.
Well, you're missing one.
I think I should
You're missing one. You're missing one of the big ones. It's $50 a car to park on their parking lot.
Well, I wouldn't know because I don't go there.
Would you want to do that? Oh, sure. Well, you can go tailgate in tailgate in the municipal parking lot. But on the way in, you're gonna give me $50. And if you stay for the whole game, we'll keep your $50. And even if you don't stay for the whole game, we're going to take your $50. And then we're going to take and impose a whole bunch of rules over you. You're not allowed to drink in there. You're not allowed to smoke in there. You're not allowed to do this. What a bunch of crap. And it's not that way just in Brown Stadium. Anywhere that has tailgating's doing the same thing. It's $50 a fucking car to park there.
Those aren't my concern. My concern is the fact that you want me to pay for a stadium that I'm never going to go to. Unless I'm lucky enough to catch a home game against Pittsburgh. Be the only reason I would go there.
Huh. Hang on a second.
It's a bunch of horse bucking.
Well, to me, it's just I think it's
To
comical.
you don't care because you don't drink and you don't smoke.
And I don't
So
drive.
you're like, well, I ain't got to pay for it.
Nope, I don't.
I don't have to pay for it. Hey, good for me. Hey, build a bigger fucking dome.
Well,
Build one of them things where the grass rolls out into the parking lot and gets sun in the morning, and then you roll the grass back in the afternoon and shit, and just let everybody else pay for it.
I don't think
You're
that
fine with that. I get it.
I don't think that it's a bad idea to have a dome stadium.
No,
I think that
it's
would
not.
be.
It's not. But the way they do it is what I have a problem with. If you're going to do it and you're going to fund it, everyone in the state should be paying for it.
Why should somebody from
Not
Columbus?
just
Why
somebody
should somebody
that drinks a beer or smokes a cigarette.
Why should somebody in Columbus have to pay for it? Why should
I
somebody?
agree.
Why should somebody
I
in
agree.
Cincinnati have to pay for it?
I agree. Totally agree.
Why shouldn't we be paying for Cincinnati? Shouldn't we be paying for Joe Burrow? Why shouldn't we be paying for their
Listen,
stinky offense?
If you listen to what I'm saying, I get it. What I'm saying is, why is it always a sin tax on cigarettes and beer?
It's been
That is the way they fund everything.
been-
Cigarettes and beer.
It's been that way for
Hey,
50
I tell
years.
you what. You know what? You got a new one now. How about you put the sin tax on? You add that to the marijuana tax that everybody's paying for
All
buying.
right, now you're hitting
put it on there.
Now you're hitting the nerve here.
Well, guess what? Now you're in a spot where, hey, I don't have to pay for it because I don't smoke weed.
Where in the hell is all that weed money going? There's nothing different around here.
Oh no, they have all these little clubs now that the weed goes to. Because you got the person that has to do this,
No,
and the person that has to do that.
I'm not talking
And
about
then,
where
and
does the
then
weed go.
The person that has to tell the weed smokers that they shouldn't smoke so much weed, and that's where the money goes.
And it's a similar thing with the gambling money. We were supposed to be, this all started out, the gambling stuff, for instance. When they first brought the lottery in to Ohio, 30%
Love the schools.
30% of this money is going to go, or all this money is going to go to fund our public schools. So you won't have to pay no more tax levies. All of a sudden, what happened to it? All right, then you've taken, like you said, you bring on the beer tax, which was supposed to be a 20-year tax, and the sin tax was supposed to be 20 years. That stadium's been there since 1999. Why are they still doing it? Think about some of this
I don't
stuff.
know that they are, but
Think about stuff.
what you tell me, I'm assuming they
that
are.
sin tax is still there. The parking tax is the same way. It's 20 years. It was there to fund the stadium, and that was all it was going to do. And all of a sudden, we're 40 years, 45 years, 35 years?
Well, that's no different than the grocery prices you're paying right now,
And then,
and different things like that after COVID.
Let me finish.
You know.
Let me continue the thought here.
Go on.
They bring gambling into Ohio. Oh, we're gonna fund the schools. We're gonna build you roads. We're gonna do all this kind of stuff with this money. Where is it? I don't see it. And then okay, everybody, I don't want this marijuana. I don't want this marijuana in here. All of a sudden, we're going to tax it. Oh, yeah. I'll be damned. Let's take that tax. We'll tell everybody that tax money is going to go, it's going to go to pay their schools and pave the roads and build bridges. Where?
Yeah, that's one thing I will tell you.
It's one fucking thing right after another.
Somebody would have went off
after
about that.
after another. Where's all
You're
this
gonna
money
fund our
going?
schools with marijuana.
Where's all this money going?
Yeah.
I'd like to know that.
Amen, brother.
Well, we agree on something.
Amen.
Heaven forbid.
I've the same shit you're just bitching about. I've been bitching about for fucking years. It's no different than what I bitch about the stadiums. And then you have a law in Ohio. The Supreme Court struck down, or not, didn't strike down shit, but gave the Ohio State Supreme Court gave a ruling that said that levying taxes for schools was flat out unconstitutional and illegal. Why is it, between 20 and 30 years later, we're still paying property taxes for school levies, even though the Supreme Court said you can't do that?
Yeah.
Why are we still doing it?
I can tell you why.
You can't handle the truth.
Did you hear that?
I heard it, but what do you mean? Give me the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. At least that's what they think. Nobody can handle the truth.
Exactly. That's the point. It's you've been told that you're not allowed to do this, but 20 years later, you're still doing it, and it's allowed to happen.
Yep, that's right.
Makes it.
What are you gonna do to What are you gonna do to fix it? How can you fix it?
I don't know. Maybe follow the rules.
Well, I think first we need to find out.
I know my taxes will go down a shitload.
I think
I don't know about yours.
we
Mine
need
will
to
go down a shitload.
I think we need to find out where all this money's going. That we said that it was supposed to be diminishing the other taxes and paving our roads and doing our schools and building our bridges and all that. What a bunch of hooey. And yet you have these idiots that will sit there and argue with you all flipping day long about how they don't want this. I've seen this in a couple of the groups on social media that I follow. These idiots will come in there. Well, I don't think it's right that we should spend our tax money. It's not your fucking tax money. It's nobody's tax money. It's the government's tax money. That's where they got it. They got it from you. But did you think that do you have one inkling, one stupid ass inkling that you own that money? Yeah, right. You got no right in that. You got no right to say where any tax money goes. This just baffles me how dumb some of these people can be. I don't hear an argument from you. Your eyes are supposed to be wide open, Dale, and you're supposed to be arguing with me. What the hell's going on here? You're not feeling good?
What am I going to argue with? You telling me that there's a bunch of morons out there that think that they can tell the government what to do with their money?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
I disagree with the fact that I think we should have a little bit of say, which we're talking about here with, levying the taxes,
you think for one
funding schools with your property taxes and whatever. I agree with that. But, once the money gets into their hands,
gone.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's gone. And I'm smart enough to know that. What are you going to argue at that point? You have to, that's a grassroots kind of thing.
Don't you think
you have to get out there and you have to hold your politicians to the fire, and you have to, just like with the presidential campaign, everybody thinks that's the greatest thing in the world. You know what? That's important. It's very important for you to vote for the person that you believe in. But what people don't understand is the trickle down. Your state people, your county people, your city people are sometimes a lot more accountable for the problems that you are having than the federal government. The federal government, Go to a gas pump and see who's charging the most tax. Okay, it's right on the pump. You can see it on the sticker.
Yep.
Guess who's making the most money off of your gas?
Yep.
The state.
Yep.
The state is making. The federal government's getting a little kick. They're getting some money off the gas you buy, but the state is beating the snot out of you on the gas that you buy. But everybody wants to complain the federal government every time the gas prices go up. Well, that's fine. Okay, I guess they have a little bit to do with
blame the president. Blame the president. Prices.
But if you look at the actual tax and the percentage of tax, it's the state that's making more money off of that bullshit than the federal government is, at least in our particular state.
Now,
so who you want to go after?
On that same note, we can argue some more about taxes here. On that same note, you take the stuff that's happened in Peninsula with pretty much this speeding tax is about what it amounts to. If you're these speed cameras, which you know how I feel about that, and most everybody does. I think they're a fucking money grab to begin with. Nothing but a money grab. And do you think you're getting a speeding ticket or having to pay a fine 4 weeks after you've done the offense is going to slow you down? Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, I will say that,
and
I agree with you, but I don't. I do think sometimes these cameras can be a money grab, but I tell you what, be me and have to drive all the way through the construction on Route 8 in 77, where there's almost no room for a police officer to sit. I wish they could put up some cameras.
In a situation like that, I agree.
Sons of bitches.
In a situation like that, I agree, but not on 303.
It's the what I deal with on a day-to-day basis is absolutely ridiculous, and it shouldn't happen. So in that aspect, I could see it, but if there ain't nobody on the road and you're going a little bit too fast and you ain't bothering nobody, I get it. But come on, I mean, in certain places, there's a time and a place for everything.
Exactly. And I agree. I won't fight you on that one.
You shouldn't be driving like a freaking moron. I mean, it's not safe for you, which I don't care about. That's you. If you're that stupid, then it's your own ass. But you're putting my life in jeopardy. That's where I have a problem.
And I agree I can agree with certain situations.
I'm going 5 to 7 miles an hour over the speed limit and getting past like I'm not moving.
When you got a situation like I heard a couple of weeks ago with this Peninsula thing, you got a cop that's hiding down in some tree or some bushes.
There's no wrong with that.
Popping out. Oh yeah, there is. According to the law, there is. They're not allowed to do that. They're supposed to be when they run radar. They're supposed to be in plain sight. That's the law.
And when you I bet you when you passed him, you could see him.
I bet you didn't.
Well, I don't know.
They had the Galax had a thing on Channel 8 one night that showed this cop crouched down behind. He was crouched down in some bushes, running radar on I think it was 303. Nobody could see him, which is against the law. So the Galax said something about it. And the whole thing comes down to these speed cameras like this that are where they catch you and whatever. It's nothing, they're not doing it for public safety. There's no way that that's connected to any public safety. You're getting a ticket for almost a month after you've done the deed. They say that it runs 2 weeks to a month before you see the ticket show up in your mailbox.
Let me ask you a stupid question. Okay, so you're telling me totally non-visible, whatever. You got a policeman hunkered down in the weeds, in the trees, in whatever, and he's running radar.
Yep.
Okay.
You know they do.
Okay. Now
you're
driving down. Let's just say you're driving down Route 8. Okay. Oh, you said it was 303.
Yeah.
You're driving down 303. And the speed limit says it's 35, 40, 45, whatever it happened to be. Let's just say for informational purposes, it's 45 miles an hour. And you're driving 45 miles an hour down 303. Is the cop in the bushes going to bother you? Yeah, no. If you're going 60 miles an hour, is the cop gonna in the bushes gonna bother you? Yeah, he might, and probably will. So now let's say the cop's not there. We're 45 miles an hour down the 303, or 60 miles an hour down the 303, or 80 miles an hour down the 303. Okay, what are we looking at here? You have one person that is following the law and two people that are not. Whether a police officer is there or whether a police officer is not, two people are breaking the law. Now, why is it that Mr. Policeman is not allowed to go correct the individual that was breaking the law?
Well,
I've done 60, 65 past the cop in the falls, okay, and not even had that guy bat an eye at me as people are passing me at damn near, God knows.
He's looking for the fastest one.
And you know,
you have to also scale this too, in a way, with the speed cameras like he was running or crouched down to do, so that he could mail somebody a ticket. Those are going to cost different than if he had to be on his little bicycle or motorcycle or car or whatever and go get that guy. You get charged by the mile an hour. Now, if you're driving down 303 and I'm doing 8 miles an hour, I think it's actually 11 miles an hour over the speed limit, I'm going to get a ticket in the mail. If somebody goes ripping down through there at 90 miles an hour, he's going to get the same ticket. How is that fair?
How would they get the same ticket?
He gets the same ticket because there was no cop there, and that's not a civil violation. And that's how that stuff works. And they actually started some legislation. They actually
it's a speeding ticket by camera is just
it's $180. It's $180.
It doesn't have anything to do with how fast you were going.
It's $180.
It's a speeding ticket for speeding.
It's a $180 fine. And before we started raising all the hell about it, it was that if you wanted to fight that ticket, you had to pay $100 up front that you wouldn't get back. And that was illegal because of the fact that you're entitled to representation in court and your day in court, and it has to be free.
Okay, I remember that, and I get it.
Okay, so now you're going down the road, you're doing 6 or 11 miles over the speed limit. Somebody comes ripping down through there at 80 miles an hour. How's that fair that you both get tickets for the same price? That guy was doing twice your speed over. How's that fair?
That I would complain about. Okay.
Well, that's
Because trust me,
and
I mean,
the thing,
there's plenty of times
the reason
I exceed the speed limit
the
just to
reason
keep up with traffic.
the
I mean,
reason that I'm saying so much about this is the simple fact that that's not fair. But on the other hand, these communities like Peninsula are they're setting speed traps to get people because that's $200. They get 200. If that's a $200 fine, the speed trap company gets $100 of it, and you get $100. You're sending out tickets. In 6 months' time, they sent 11,000 tickets out. 11,000 times 100. How's that for your community? How's that? Isn't that now? Where's that money going? Do you think money's going into somebody's pocket?
But guess what? Don't speed.
That money's going into somebody's pocket.
Don't
Plain
speed.
and simple.
Don't speed.
Speeding's irrigation.
Slow down.
And
Slow down.
What?
If the speed limit's 50, there's no reason to go 60 or 70.
You can do 58.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I don't do 5 to 7 over the speed limit, but I know when I'm getting past like I'm not moving, I'm probably not the one that's going to get caught. And if I ever do, trust me, I'm generally a very nice guy, but the officer that pulls me over is going to be in for a freaking earful and a whole lot of non-compliance because of it. I mean, if I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong. But if I'm doing 65 and a 55, getting past at 80 miles an hour, and you're pulling me over, I'll be like, well, what about that guy? What about the people in front of me? You see how much farther in front of me they are than I am? Why didn't you pull any of them over? Why'd you pick me?
Because he could get you. Because he could catch you.
I'm going to be a dickhead. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I know. I did that to an officer in Hudson once. It was a Hudson cop, and he ended up becoming my landlord. And well, I knew who he was. He I don't know if he remembered me or not. But I gave him a badass time. I was within the law, but I complained about him. I complained at him. I told him I was going to turn him in for. I was going to see him in court, and everything else. Well, I just decided that losing 2 days of pay over it was not worth it. So I ended up not fighting it, but I'll bet I'd put money on it. He never knew when I rented his apartment, he never knew who I was. That was when I lived over on Hibbard. Yeah, it's a strange world out here anymore.
Oh, it's more strange.
And we got about another 8 minutes. We can argue some more for a minute. There was a topic we were going to cover that we discussed. What the hell was that? Or when we talked earlier today?
We didn't really talk about topics so much. We were just.
It was right before.
Bullshitting, and then we were going to talk about topics. And
it was right before we hung up. We talked about that, and I don't remember what the hell it was now. I told you, I said, this needs to be a topic on the show, and you said, yeah.
What I do know is I got in your daughter's ass last night. So I'm sitting here, and I told you I was listening in on the podcast. And then you were asking about being strict or whatnot, yeah. and different things like that. And, of course, Melanie, silent as a church mouse. Okay? You could tell that the shit was still working on her because she didn't have the balls to open her mouth. Okay. And then we got Justine down here that's got the balls to open her mouth, but apparently they aren't big enough to speak the truth. And I'm looking down the stairs. I'm like, honey, he just gave you your in. Take it. And finally, that's when she started to kind of talk. And then when she got down, I'm like, really? That's all you had to say? I remember back when we were dating. Okay. Back when we were dating. We're talking 25 flipping years ago, if not more. She had to have her chores done before I was allowed to pick her up.
Well, what's wrong with that?
She had to do, and she had to have them done before I was allowed to pick her up for us to go out on her date. And I was telling her, I said, maybe that's something that if any of the youngsters that are in the house right now could hear, they can find out what you're actually capable of. Because I know that. And I know how you used to be. I've heard every damn one of the stories. And those youngins that are in your house and the stepdaughter included have absolutely no clue what was expected of others that used to live in your home. I mean, you better give him a big old hug. Give him a bigger one. Give him a bigger hug.
She's going up the stairs now.
Give him a bigger hug. But I mean, seriously. I mean, that's...
Well, I was a lot younger then.
How you were. And that's, I think, how you still are.
I had a lot of...
But for some reason,
I had a lot of piss and vinegar in me then. I don't have that now. I've been defeated.
I think you suppressed a lot of it.
I've been defeated.
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean you've been defeated? That'd be like you saying, okay, Dale, you win. Really? When would you ever say that in a million years?
You'll never hear that from me.
Exactly.
Even if you did.
So how are you going to tell me you've been defeated? You haven't.
Yeah, overwhelmed.
You haven't. You haven't.
But
I mean, I'm going to take a wild guess and say you still have testicles.
Yeah.
You might need a couple bricks in the toilet, but still got testicles.
Well, it happens.
But hey,
notice how my voice got lower.
let them have it. Let them have it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your kids know who you were. I know. I experienced it. I could tell. I could tell those children in your house stories, and that's what they need to know.
I say all the time as to what
you need to handle your business, and you need to do the right thing, and whatnot.
I'm not going to go into.
Let me be the asshole.
I'm not going to go into much of this over the air, but there's.
Oh, I know. There's no need to. I just, I remember hearing that last night.
I will say you were
right.
I
remember not being able to pick you up.
Well, responsibilities, and look how it turned out. Look how all three of my children turned out because of that.
Well,
Sean, on the other hand, Sean was a whipping post. At least.
Well, your one daughter's still a clutter bug, but
as far as that goes, they knew they had the responsibilities back then, and they were told to do it, or they couldn't do what they wanted to do. That was a responsibility thing. That's the way I raised them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this round, I don't have quite as much energy or power.
You got the power.
It is a different situation.
You got the power.
I don't. But I'm not going to go into that here.
Yeah, you do, Pops.
Maybe.
It's all right there in your voice. You have it.
You ought to see what started that discussion out. Did you hear what started that? Melanie and I went to Zalays down in the valley,
Okay.
and I've got my chair, my wheelchair, and I'm rolling around in there. I don't the way I work. I just use that as a chair to roll myself around in. I'm not in it 100% of the time or nothing like that. Everybody, so nobody misunderstands it here. But I use it if I got to walk a long distance. I use the thing. I sit in it and I roll it around with my feet. Well, we're in Zalays. We're coming back out, and we got to the truck, and I was going to stand up and get in the truck, and she's got a hold of the two handles in the back, and she's backing me up. And all of a sudden, I hear her start going beep, beep, beep. And I thought, are you saying my ass is fat? And I reached around and I swatted at her. She took off like a flippin' scared chicken. And I said, don't you ever tell me that you ain't afraid of me. Don't you ever. And that's what started that whole thing. It was funny as hell. I laughed about that all the way home from Zalays. Oh, you're not afraid of me. Bullshit. Tell it to somebody that might believe you. But anyway, let's see what we got now. Who's Pittsburgh play next?
Oh, hell, I don't know. Somebody that's going to lose.
Somebody that's going to win?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't remember.
You can't rely on the 6 field goals all year long. But here's the catch. I liked what I saw out of the quarterback. I love because Pittsburgh is trying to go back to the run more, and they brought in an offensive coordinator to do that, and they've been doing that much more. And then they had a very mobile quarterback who was running.
Is that Justin Fields?
But unfortunately, he's not actually the starter.
Was it Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins?
It was Fields that started.
Okay.
Oh, Cousins plays for Chicago.
Oh, I thought you guys had him.
No.
Who's your backup then?
Oh, blah, 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 blah. I want to say, was Wallace ring a bell? Yeah. No. Starts with a W. I was watching Fields all day. But they actually picked, the other guy to be the starting quarterback, and they thought his ankle wasn't quite right, so they decided
I had heard
Fields.
Something like that, and Fields never got himself killed a couple of times.
He was showing glimmers of, very many glimmers. Of course, like in the second half, they let him start throwing the ball. In the first half, it was like run, right down to your throat. In the second half, they started letting him, throw the ball a little bit, and he was doing pretty well with it. Now, they didn't end up scoring any touchdowns, but, they were doing good. Now, with the new quarterback, allegedly, they're pretty close. So I'm guessing that who they've picked to actually be the starter is supposed to be mobile too. Don't quote me, but that's what I'm hearing. I haven't seen him play yet, so I can't speak on it.
I know the history of Justin Fields. He actually was an Ohio State quarterback for 3 years. Then he went to the draft and ended up going to Chicago, and Chicago ruined him. They made him do stuff that wasn't, and then he ended up getting hurt for part of the season, I think, and then he came back, and they decided that they weren't going to keep him there in Chicago, so they ended up moving him or they ended up trading him to Pittsburgh, and that's why he's with you guys now. He hasn't been coached correctly. It's the same way I compare Cleveland with in a lot of their coaching adventures to Chicago. Chicago can't coach their way out of a paper bag. And that's the way it's been. It's a shame, but you take
Russell Wilson.
You're Russell Wilson. That's who I was thought.
He's supposed to be the starter. Yeah,
well, good luck.
And allegedly he's a little mobile too.
Good luck with him. He's another.
I mean, at first I was disappointed that they got rid of Pickett after how well he did at the end of the season. But with the new offensive coordinator and what I saw going on yesterday with Justin Fields, I liked the direction, I saw. And they were even given the game plan. Pittsburgh, they're saying, is pretty much drive the ball down your throat, use your defense to keep the other person at a lower score, and then creep your way up and win the game. And that's kind of the mind frame. You don't have to beat them 50-0. You don't have to. I mean, of course, that's great when you do, but this ain't college where they're ranking you on how much you beat somebody by. You just have to win. And they're looking at kind of keeping things there and just playing old school Steelers football. Now, Wilson, I guess, is supposed to kind of fit into that. But I'll tell you what, because there was a big controversy about who should be the starter, whether it be Wilson or Fields. And, back and forth during preseason and whatnot. And they pretty much basically say that they're almost interchangeable, which is a good thing because it doesn't, cause problems for the offense, because you're looking at the almost same situation. So hopefully it'll work out. I mean, I don't know how to get in depth with this stuff. I'm not like a major break down the sports. That's why you have a whole different show about this shit. I'm not that guy. I can just tell you what I saw on TV.
Yeah. Well,
but I like it.
I like doing some of the research on the players and that. That's pretty much what I do, and that's why it fits so good in some of these sports shows that we do here. I'm pretty well versed in a lot of it. I know who I think is good, and I know who I think sucks. Wilson, you're going to probably have trouble with him. He didn't impress me when he was with one of the West Coast or the Western teams. Was it Washington or San Diego? Somebody like that. Anyway, I watched him play a couple of games. It didn't really impress me. And so more or less I moved on to somebody that did.
Up to Deshaun Watson?
And no. I'll tell you what the best one we let go was, besides what's his name that beat us in the last game, even though he played for us, was Jacoby Brissett. I like that guy. That's going to be he's coming up through the ranks, and he's going to be a good quarterback. I think Bill's got him up there, or not Bill. New England's got him up there. That's he's going to be a good one. He's a smart quarterback, and even if he doesn't start, he can actually come in on he comes in on different plays. He's a good quarterback sneak guy, and I've seen him when he was with the Browns. he was one of the better ones that, even if he wasn't starting, they brought him in for a couple of sneaks like that and ended up doing it. Of course, that's when we had a running back, which we seem not to be experiencing too much of here lately. And it's a good thing he's not playing because this game yesterday would have just blown him out. As you can tell, I'm a little defeated with that idiot Browns team.
I would be.
And it's
Because, I mean, even I was listening to I was watching one of the shows, and the commentators before the game were saying that, Dallas has, they're a good team, but they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And they were basically talking up the Browns. And
the Browns were 2-point favorites going into the game.
And then the next thing
and then they just decided not to play.
They just got, routed.
Well, this is what happens when you don't take and play your players in preseason.
The only reason they got the touchdown they got, because I saw that, was because the defense was lax, just making sure that, nothing crazy happened, and they snuck one in. I mean...
it's just, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Listen, if you want to hear me rant, tune in Saturday morning. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'm going to start a rant on them I'm going to talk to them like I would anybody that knows me. I'm going to let them know what a Browns player or a Browns analyst thinks. I feel I can be I'm a pretty decent analyst when I want to be.
Okay, I'd be curious to see what your son, the sellout, thinks. I mean, come on. I tease him about that. I do. I tease him. The guy was the biggest Browns fan in the whole world, knew every Browns player, stats, blah, 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 blah. He spent 15 minutes in Texas and had his first Dallas Cowboys hat. And all of a sudden, go Cowboys, go. And then he's rooting for the baseball team down there. And all of a sudden, Cleveland what? Cleveland who? What? What? Oh, I still like Cleveland. I still follow. But yeah, who do you think he was rooting for yesterday? You think he was rooting for Cleveland? I bet not.
I didn't see his pick, so I don't know.
I
know Gordon.
I bet not.
I know Gordon was.
Bet you a nickel.
Gordon picked the Browns.
Hey, I got a nickel. I got a nickel on the fact that he was rooting for Dallas.
Yeah, probably.
I'll put a nickel on it.
Anyway, let's wrap this up for the week.
So,
hope you all enjoyed our little argument today, and hope you'll tune in Saturday for a new and improved Pat.
Is that possible?
He's going to be on the top of his game, which is more than I can see for the Browns. But anyway, we will see everybody next in 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
What's the date that day? Today is what? 9?
Give me a second.
9 and 7 is 16.
Damn, I hit the wrong button.
Roughly the 16th. Friday's the 13th, yes. Saturday the 14th.
It would be the 23rd.
Yeah, that's right.
Because today's the 9th.
That's right.
Be the 23rd.
And we'll be here somewhere about 8 o'clock.
And we'll have something next time, definitely. Because, like I said, politics was getting a little dry until after this debate, and then we can hash it out about what we think about the debate.
So you're going to take me up on my bet?
What?
I'll buy you.
So I'm supposed to watch the Democratic media talk about how great she did, and that's going to be the meter. That's a losing battle.
I'd let you off easy, Dale. If you lost,
I mean, shit.
if you lost,
If you don't throw up a steak dinner, you need to have something where it's like,
yeah.
boom,
If
you know.
you lost, I just make me cook me a home cooked steak dinner.
That's even worse. I already did that once.
Yeah, that was fun too. I still remember that.
Oh, that was a good
One
time.
of the best meals I
That
ever
was a
ate.
good time. I got kind of, and you know, I've worked other places where, remember that creme brulee
Yeah.
with ginger in it?
Oh
I've
yeah.
tried to get them to do it at work and stuff, but no, they won't budge.
Huh.
They won't budge. They think I'm full of shit. Nah. They think I'm full of crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, seriously, it's good.
Well, that really was good. That whole meal was just off the wall good. That's what that was my payback for getting you into radio. You still have anything in the car?
Now, I've thought about putting radio back in the, now that I have a truck, but it's a little more difficult because of the liner they have in there. So,
Just put some
antenna wise, I'm looking at how to kind of get something. And I know how to run the radio. That's not an issue, but it's figuring out how to properly put an antenna up to do it.
Well, as far as the antenna, that's another Dodge truck, right?
Yeah, but I'd have to. They have this a special nice, and I'm in a lease vehicle, which I pretty much plan on buying, but
What you could do?
I'd have to cut a hole in it
No,
to get the antenna in there, and
nope.
you know.
What you can do? There are those little rubber knockouts all over the underside of that truck. All you'd have to do is take a box knife and cut an X in there and bring your coax through that way. All you got to do is.
Well, that's not the problem. I know
be.
how to get the coax in. I've done it a couple times now.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes right up through the back floor. There's a hole there.
Yeah.
But it's where and how to mount the antenna. That is my issue.
Is there posts there? The truck posts? Do you have those truck with the holes for the posts?
No.
Oh, they're not.
So I would have to cut it.
Oh, no, you can't cut that. It's a leased vehicle. You don't want to cut it.
Okay. That's what I'm running into.
Is there on the bed? Is there a lip on the bed?
A lip on the bed.
You know how the wall of your bed comes up, and it comes flat, and then it goes down that way. Is there an edge there? Could you put
More than likely. I haven't actually physically tested that. I mean, I have a cap on there right now.
Oh. Okay.
I have a cover. So that's another thing I'm kind of running into.
Yeah, I understand that.
Is
it what's the cover look like? Is there any way you could attach to that and just run aground? Yeah, we'll have to talk about this off the air.
I seriously doubt it. Without totally changing the truck, I don't see too many options that I have. And that's why, I haven't done it.
I'll help you do it for another dinner. But anyway, I'll.
We want this time Polish.
I don't know, maybe Italian, something like that. That'd be good.
Some beef tips and noodles.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know how to cook those.
Yeah, yours are awful sweet. Anyway, let's wrap this for tonight. Why don't you hang on for a couple minutes, and
All right.
I'll come over there and talk for a minute. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks on this show. Next, coming up Saturday morning, 11.
Saturday after Saturday morning. Yes.
Don't distract me.
That's
Squirrel.
what you said.
Squirrel.
I'm here to help you out.
Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning, we are going to do a Four Guys on Sports show that at least as far as I know, I haven't heard anything different. And we're going to probably rehash the Browns
Debacle.
the Browns Cowboys game. And if anybody's ever listened to that show, which some of you have, that there are a couple of Dallas fans on there. One of them said that the Browns was going to win. So, we'll leave that up in the air there. On Sunday night next week, we have Radioactive coming at 7 to 9 or 7:30 to 9. I'm more than likely going to have a guest there. He's a friend of the show, and yeah, I've actually had him on a couple times with a guy by the name of Billy Dees. That'll be Shane, Sugar Shane. Then Monday night, we're going to run with Eric again. So he's actually got a guest coming too. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Dale, thank you as always for being here. Thanks for taking the time to bless us with your presence.
Oh God.
Yeah, really. And then we ought to go out to lunch or dinner sometime. Whenever you're ready, maybe if you get a day off or something next week or so, give me a call. Maybe we can do lunch or dinner. We can go do that. It's been a while since you and I have been out like that. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug, let the air out, roll it up, and put it away. Everybody have a good evening, and 7-3.